WrestleFriends! WrestleFriends podcast!
We're on?
We are? Oh.
Hi. You alright?
The return of the return of the WrestleFriends podcast.
WrestleFriends, hey, what you up to? What you been up to?
What have I been up to?
I feel like I haven't seen you for...
We haven't introduced ourselves.
We are WrestleFriends. I am Dave.
I am Mark.
I forgot that you like things in sort of like...
So sometimes
chronological
you forget that,
order.
We're making these podcasts to go out and someone might start listening to them, and I think occasionally we just forget to start introducing things. We just start talking.
No, I was just saying, because we're obviously talking before we start the podcast, and it's almost just a continuation of the conversation we were having before.
But then we should be like, oh yeah, well, introduce yourselves in case someone picks up this episode of the podcast, which may well happen one day.
One day, maybe it's in like when we're dead in the future, because this is kind of like our time capsule. This is how we're gonna. This is how we're gonna be remembered for.
So, because it's our time capsule, like. Maybe I should start thinking about some of the horrendous things I say, because it might be like nice for my son to listen to them when he's like 15.
I don't think we should get into horrendous things we say. I got an interesting email off your wife.
Yeah.
Are we going to go into that one day?
Should we do it today?
Do you want to do it today? Do you want to do what we've been up to? Because I haven't seen you for
we'll do what we've been up to.
I haven't seen you for like 2 weeks.
So I watched season 2 of Stranger Things.
I was actually going to talk about Stranger Things because I finished it.
I finished it. I don't want to, like, in case any of the people who listen to this podcast, which isn't many, actually most of them I know whether they've watched season 2 or not, but I don't want to do spoilery things, but it was really good.
Did you think it was better than the first one?
I didn't. I preferred the first one. I liked the introduction of Sean Astin because it was like Stranger Things is a Goonies for now. And so it was nice to have Sean Astin in, who was a Goonie.
Right. Yeah. I never thought about it like that.
I liked what you said before I watched it. I really liked Steve and Dustin as a team.
Yeah. That's really good, isn't it? It's a good combo.
How he tells him his hair secrets.
Yeah. We can't give too much away though, because
that's not like a plot spoiler.
No. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. I actually enjoyed the fact that how the first time round it was like get to know the characters and stuff. I like the fact that you already knew them, so it was straight into it. So
I like how there's numbers that come before 11.
What?
I like how there's numbers that come before 11.
Oh yeah. There was one episode I didn't enjoy, but I'm not going to talk about it.
You didn't enjoy it?
One episode,
Should we talk about it?
Off air?
Off air, yeah. I think I know which episode you're talking about, but we'll talk about it off air.
Yeah, I didn't enjoy it. It's near the end of the season.
Other than watching Stranger Things Season 2, I have been watching lots of videos on YouTube. There's this guy, whose name I can't remember, who does reviews of old horror films and video nasties. So I've been getting back into video nasties. And there's a film that I watched called George Romero, who made the Dawn of the Dead films.
Yeah.
So Night of the Living Dead, Dawn of the Dead, Day of the Dead. He did other films that I didn't know about. One called Nightriders, which is really good. It's these people who are in a motorcycle gang, but they run their community like an old knights, they have the joust on their motorbikes and stuff.
Really?
It's
not like talking bikes.
Talking bikes?
Nightriders? No.
It's called Nightriders.
See what I did there?
I did. Kit. Nightriders. So yeah, it's an interesting. So I've been watching lots of So I've been getting back into old horror films. I took my son to the Great North Museum and the Discovery Museum in the
double
same
header,
day.
that like.
It was. He just ran. He liked the big open spaces.
Did you take him to the water bit upstairs?
I loved it. Yeah. And
so that's the one you need to take him. Did you take a change of clothes?
No, I just had I took his pants off, and he just had the tabard. Is that what they're called? Like tabard?
I call them a pinny.
Pinny on. He had a pinny on. He and you're supposed to pay $150, and I argued the fact that he was a baby, even though he can walk and talk. Because he's his speech is quite good for 17 months. So yeah, I got in that bit for free.
Do you get in for free if they can
if they're
babyish?
Baby. So yeah, it was a nice day. I mean, in Newcastle, I think if you don't have too much money, there's there's still lots of things to do. All I paid for my metro ticket is, and we had a packed lunch and went to the museum. We could have gone to so next week, on next Monday, come in, which will be the 30th or something. Not that, but I'm going to take him to the Lane Art Gallery and the Baltic in the same day. So there's a lot you can do for free.
Have you took him to Phoenix Window yet?
No, Amanda wants to do it and she's at work.
Is Amanda a fan of Paddington?
She's a fan of Christmas.
Yeah, I love going to town at this time of year. It's really good, and I like they've put the Christmas tent thing up where you can go and drink mulled wine and stuff like that.
Yeah, I wanted to go in there, but when Lucas was having his nap, but I think that wouldn't have been very appropriate drinking mulled wine.
We're going to get the baby, baby's not a baby anymore, but we're going to get the kids watched one day, and we're going to do all the last bits of Christmas shopping, and we're going to go and have some mulled wine in that tent.
See, I think you're really a Christmassy guy.
Oh, full on Christmas.
Whereas I'm I like some aspects of Christmas. I like spending time with family to a certain extent.
Getting presents.
And I like getting presents. I don't like decorations because they're messy and they're different in my normal life. I don't like, they're mad. There's nothing relaxed. There's nothing the best part of Christmas is that period after Christmas.
Well, between Christmas and New Year?
Yeah, where you can just chill out, have days in the house and that's my favourite period of Christmas.
I just like it because it's nice. It's as mental as you make it, though. You don't have to have it mental.
Yeah.
Did I go too deep there?
Yeah.
Sorry.
No.
Do you want to know what I've been up to?
What have you been up to?
Nothing. I've been to hospital. You know how many of my podcast adventures start in hospital?
There's another hospital one.
Another hospital adventure.
There must be 5 or 6 episodes out of the 17.
I don't think I talk too much about it because it's not fun going to hospital, but you do hospitals. I don't like them. I hope it's never for me. I'm never in hospital for anything.
Hospitals are hospital.
Hospital they are. I also did go to see Paddington in the film, which was quite good.
Paddington 2.
Paddington 2. Have you seen Paddington 1?
I haven't, no.
You should watch them. They're good films. Do you like kids films?
I do.
Yeah, you should watch them.
I like a kids film when a lot of it goes over kids' heads and you're like, that's quite funny.
Yeah, a lot of that was in Paddington.
Honestly, if you watch Peppa Pig, there's loads that...
They're hilarious.
There's loads where I think that's an actual joke aimed at adults that kids aren't going to understand.
They were on... So the guy that does Daddy Pig and the woman that does Peppa were on Radio 2 the other morning for Children in Need, and they were really funny. Just dropping funnies all over the place. Everyone was just creased. You could hear them all in the studio laughing. It was hilarious. So yeah, I've done that. One highlight of that film, and I'm not a huge Hugh Grant fan, but he was excellent in it. Really funny.
I'm listening, but it looked really funny because just the top half of your head's peeking out over the laptop.
But I've been trying.
Hugh Grant was funny in it.
Hugh Grant was funny in it.
Hugh Grant's not funny.
He's funny in that. And I'm trying to catch up with Peaky Blinders because new series started.
Have you not seen the new episode of season 4?
Nah, I'm still finishing season
honestly,
3.
So it hits the ground running. The first episode of season 4 is brilliant.
Got it on record.
You'll have 2 because there's
one tonight, but I've got to finish. It's on. I've got to finish season 3, so I've got one more episode of season 3 to watch.
I want to talk to you about Peaky Blinders, but once again, it's not fair if anyone listens and hasn't seen it.
Yeah, well, I've got loads of TV to catch up on, and that's why I haven't been able to watch all of Survivor Series yet. So, bumps to that.
I'm considering with Survivor Series doing what I did with... Which event was it that I just jettisoned?
You know my problem with Survivor Series is don't like it. I
Well,
don't like Survivor Series.
The thing is, I've not watched it, and the only match I'm actually interested in is Shield New Day.
Yeah.
I'm not really interested.
That's one of the ones I have seen, but I'm not talking about it yet because I'll talk about it when
So
you've
do you
seen
think it would be cool if I just watched that? Like, is that...
I would watch that, right, and then fast forward and watch the match at the end, maybe.
Because Triple H is in it.
Because Triple H is in it, and Triple H is cool. And
have you seen... I know this isn't like... I know this isn't like what have we been doing recently, and we haven't started wrestling thoughts. But did you see him walk into the video wall?
I don't want to talk about that. It's part of my thoughts.
All right, I will not. I'm not talking about
You did a spoiler alert.
it. Was the funniest thing I've ever seen in my life. Anyway,
Ooh,
That's
I've been delivered a gift.
Leo's outside the door. He's delivered a gift underneath the door. It's a piece of paper. What does it have on, Dave?
So it looks a little bit like a cactus. I don't know.
May I have a look at this
You
image?
can. It's oh wait there. That's a person. It's upside down. That's a it's a person or something.
Hello, Leo.
Do you want to get this out of your system before we go any further?
Can you, Leo? Just from where you are, don't come any closer. But what is this image?
It's a human that's a bad guy.
What?
A human that's a bad guy.
A human.
Yeah.
So it looks to me like a man who's got wee wee coming out of his head, stood on a big turnip.
I thought it was a cactus at first.
Can is it all right if we talk to you in like half an hour or something?
Yeah.
Thanks for the
Thanks for the picture.
thanks for the input. I'm gonna take a picture of it and put it on the internet.
Bye. Just like to get that on out of your system before we go any further.
I've got a feeling to be back.
It is a good picture. I will put it on Facebook.
Do you like the way that I said wee wee and not piss?
Wee wee. You've got when you're speaking to 5-year-olds, you've got to say wee wee. What was I talking about? What were we talking about?
Well, no more pictures, Leo.
I'm going to ignore him now.
Shall we pause for a second? I'm gonna pause it in a minute. We're back on.
Right, what were we talking about again?
You told us off for bringing up Triple H because you had it in your thoughts, but then we said something else, but I can't remember what it was.
Triple H, he's back. Do you want to do thoughts?
Yeah, do you just want to go
Just
into yours?
we'll just do thoughts. We'll go crazy. Anyway.
Want to go into yours?
Do you want me to do mine? Because
Yeah.
I
Well, I think
don't want to step on your NXT takeover.
No, I've been quite reserved.
Right.
Do you want to?
I kind of want you to do yours first.
You wanted me to do mine first?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'd like to hear what you say about NXT first, and then
I'm gonna bring my notes into the light because the light in Dave's bedroom is below par.
Also, there's Bill that's working downstairs still, so as soon as we're like sat on the floor, there might be some banging happen.
That's all right. It's all right with us banging in the bedroom.
Yeah.
That was disgusting. So, my wife's been listening to the podcast, and she said that she really likes it, but sometimes some of the things I say are disgusting. So that's one of them. Right. So I have watched War Games, NXT War Games, NXT Takeover War Games.
It's a takeover, yeah.
I enjoyed it very much.
Me too.
I thought it didn't have a bad match on the card.
I've wrote that as well.
I would put it up there with some of my favourite takeovers. In fact, I think it might even be my favourite.
Do you ever forget about the last one once the next one happens because they always seem to get better?
There's been a few that have underwhelmed us slightly that I really like. I've never not enjoyed.
Do you not
the
find
takeover.
it's usually
Things like when it was Bobby Roode, Hideo Itami, I was a bit like...
Yeah, I was going to say, but it's usually like the championship match that's kind of like
Not on this one, though, for me.
not the worst one. Like, but it has been in the past where they do the title match and it's not really the best, and then they'll have like a tag team main event or something that's really good.
Yeah.
Just a thought.
Just a thought. Right, so it started off with... Actually, it happened on the 18th of November 2017. Got to get in there, got to get the dates in.
I don't even know.
Alright, I just realised I didn't do
Are you
it.
up to date with actual NXT.
I'm gonna jettison the rest of what I've missed because I know what's happened,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm gonna start from Pete Dunne, Johnny Gargano on the next one.
Alright.
So I didn't do a theme, did I?
Do you have one?
Nah, I'm just not gonna do one.
Cool.
So it was Lars Sullivan versus Cassies Ono to begin with.
Yeah, got that.
Lars' new entrance. What do you think?
So
So it was completely black. It was just an orange spotlight on him that followed him to the ring.
I couldn't work out
else.
whether they'd done that just for takeover or whether it's going to be a normal thing.
I think it's better than having his name in that. I think it's like more fitting with the character.
Yeah.
Just orange spotlight followed him down the ring. I thought it was cool. I liked it. I think Ono absolutely hit him with some absolutely ridiculous strikes, and he just kind of took them. There was one point where he sat down. He got hit down, knocked down by Cassies, and he just sat up and laughed in a kind of very Kane-esque, Undertaker-esque sort of way.
He's got a bit of a Kane face, hasn't he?
Ugly.
Yeah.
Ugly pie face. He had a very nice pop-up power slam where he threw Ono up in the air, caught him on his shoulders, and then slammed him, which I thought is much nicer than his stupid side choke slam move. So
You hated that, didn't you?
I still hate it. My advice to Lars would be to use that pop-up power slam as his finisher.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Do you want me to sort of chip in with my thoughts on TakeOver as we go?
yeah, he won with his stupid side slam
Stupid side slam.
in a relatively short match.
Is that the one that Mario Ronaldo, what's he called?
Ronaldo.
Ronaldo. He makes up names for moves, I've decided.
That was a pop-up power slam though. If Karen Owens' pop-up power bomb's a pop-up power bomb, that was a pop-up power slam.
Okay.
I'll
agree.
You know what is going through my head when we're
What?
saying all these pop-ups? Pop-up Pirate.
Pop-up Pirate was a good game.
I loved it. It was like you'd be like, oh, when's he going to pop up?
It's tense. It's tense.
It's like Buckaroo. Buckaroo was tense. Many a brawl happened between me and my brother over Buckaroo and
Buckaroo
Pop-up Pirate.
it broke too easy. Buckaroo.
Yeah, it did.
Anyway.
It was flimsy for the price, wasn't it? So yeah, I think it put Lars over massive. Cassius Ono was being built up over the last few weeks. Hit him with everything he could, and that was it.
So, do you want to know what I thought of this match?
Of course I do.
Because we might as well do this together and then,
We'll do
you know.
it together.
So, Ono v Lars. I've got Ono put the big man over in his first real, sort of his first real test, wasn't it, Lars?
Yeah.
And I think that might be Ono's role now. Sort of like
So do you think Ono might go back and tell you win a few matches and then be beaten by
big match takeover, like put people over.
Velveteen Dream or something?
Yeah. I think Ono still looked good. He was flipping around like
He got a lot of the offense,
Uh-huh.
but that was telling that he literally hit Lars with moves that he's completely KO'd people with.
He's a hard striker. He was flipping around like a man his size shouldn't be able to flip around. He done the whole, when he got knocked down, he done the Shawn Michaels jump back up again. And I looked at Jake at this point and I said, he's fatter than me. He shouldn't be able to do that.
Is there a little bit of Cassius love coming out there?
There's a little bit. I'm being nice about Cassius. I don't think he's got a role on the main roster though. I think his role should be, Vince is going to hate him because he's...
Do you not think they'll give him a job training?
I don't know. I don't think he's got...
So he's a similar... He came through with Cole Cabana and CM Punk, so he's pushing 40.
Uh-huh.
In fact, he probably already is 40. You've got to think it's a little bit sensible for him to say, right, can I be a trainer at the Performance Centre and then do the odd appearance here and there, for ICW and stuff like that?
They could do something with him, put him on commentary or something like that. I don't know.
I don't see him as a commentator. I completely agree with you. There's absolutely no way he could be a main roster guy.
Maybe he's back in Attitude Era when there was a hardcore championship or something like that that bung people like Alistair and that, and
But he's not even a hardcore wrestler.
He's
like
not,
a pure
but
wrestler,
he could probably fit into a hardcore sort of what do you call it? A hardcore division. But I can't see him doing anything on the main roster. Vince is gonna hate him.
He doesn't have the verbal gifts that Kevin Owens has got. That's why Kevin Owens gets away with being like a huskier gent.
My final thoughts on that match were onwards and upwards for Lars. Who is next? I've put question mark and maybe the Velveteen Dream.
I think those are two guys you want to keep separate because you're building both of them. I think we'll go on to the Dreams match.
You know, if they're doing like the whole Velveteen Dream wanting to be noticed off people, this was my thinking behind it, and they're wanting to do like, can you imagine getting Lars to notice you sort of thing, trying to get Lars to see your name and stuff like that.
Stealing his stuff. And
yeah, I think that would be fun to watch. Although he would end up getting beat, but I think the thing is with the Velveteen Dream, if he's having good matches, he's got the gimmick. I don't think it's necessarily going to harm him.
So we haven't gone into it yet, but I shall just go into it.
Yeah.
Like, so he loses the match to Alistair Black, but I don't think he lost because he got
him to do what he wanted him to do. Say his name.
Yeah. For me, that was match of the it wasn't War Games was match of the night, obviously, but other than War Games, that was match of the night. And like I said, I thought every match was blinding, so that says a lot.
Well, I'm going to shock you second time now because I'm going to show Velveteen Dream some love.
You've got to now.
Because that
he's not just as I put on Facebook the other day. He's not just a gimmick.
No, he's a really good competitor. I thought the match was amazing. Actually, like you say, if War Games hadn't have been part of that pay-per-view or whatever, it would have been match of the night. By far,
because you love Alistair Black as well, so
it had a good mix of humour where they were like mimicking each other
mind
quite
games.
a bit, yeah. And it showcased both of them because they haven't really had a good chance to showcase what they can like moveset. They have like short matches.
You know what I loved? A move that Velveteen Dream did, like a lock twist and DDT type move on Alistair Black, that I thought was absolutely amazing.
But it was a really good chance for them to showcase what they could actually do and have a really good match. And it's the first time we've seen both of them, I think, in a match like that.
Yeah, Alistair Black's kind of other matches, he's been a bit squashy. Even against Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish.
It was a bit like, look at me, I can do this really cool kick. But yeah,
for being so young as well, Velveteen Dream's 22. Like, he's got so much room to grow. Like, thoughts that I've got on it is his tights were like spray painted with NXT, and it had an image
of Rick Rude on it.
It was Rick Rude. So I like the fact that they're going away from the androgynous gay like stuff into like he's a showman. He wants to be seen. I think that's a better.
I hope he does that now with, like, you know how Rick Rude used to do it with all his opponents. It's like every time he has a takeover or something like that, do it.
Or so he had Rick Rude's tight and he did the Rude Awakening. He could have every big show. He could have elements of a showman's like wardrobe. So he could come down with like Macho King's scepter and like crown one takeover and have similar tights to him. Or who else has been a big showman? I don't know, something like that though. They could just go full Rick Rude with him.
I think it would be good to see him continue with the tights thing. I think it's a good.
Or he could take elements from all these top. He could wear a robe like Ric Flair. He could take you could go down that route.
Yeah.
So yeah, had the Rick Rude tight. I think both guys. I didn't expect Velvet. So the crowd obviously into him.
Oh, big style. They're both over like massively, like the pair of them.
I even think Velveteen Dream got slightly bigger chance than Alistair Black.
At points, yeah, they were. I think they both had that moments like the crowd were on their feet. It was.
Do you know
remember
what?
the match
was so good
Pete
about
Dunne
the match
versus Tyler Bate, where they were on their feet constantly. It was a little bit like that. They were up and down on their feet all the time. It was.
What was so good about it is Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate. I think that the fans were on their feet because it was so many amazing spots. If you watch the match back, Velveteen Dream and Alistair Black, there wasn't too many spots in it. It was just like so well paced. There was only like Alistair Black did 2 or 3 big moves and Velveteen Dream did 2 or 3 big moves, but it was just so the psychology was so good.
Telling a good story, weren't they? Like that's what they were doing really well.
So going back to the Rick Rude thing, he also hit the Rude Awakening, which is the Hangman's neck breaker. So I wonder if that'll be part of his.
He's gotten quite a few sort of like finishing sort of moves.
He
now,
does that
doesn't he?
flipping Death Valley dive, that cartwheel Death
He does
Valley
the big
driver.
elbow off the top rope.
Yeah, the Purple Rainmaker. So yeah, it was amazing, fast paced. Like I said, at first he was just a gimmick, and I think that's where your disconnect happens with characters.
Yeah.
See, No Way Jose has never had a chance to show what Velveteen Dream showed in that match. So now we've got like Velveteen Dream's fun character, but we've also got like, you know, this guy's like 22 years old and he's like hanging with Alistair Black, who's like a 15-year veteran who is probably going to go on the main roster and be a top guy. Like it's a big.
So where does that leave Jose?
Well, where you put him in the he's been given the Gonzalez Award. He's finished. I think it's a perfect example of booking where both guys look
good,
strong.
Yeah.
Black continued his undefeated streak. Velveteen Dream got him to say his name.
I wonder where they'll go with that. I wonder if it'll be like a respect thing. They might tag team together or something for a bit, maybe.
I kind of see it. I think they'll go their separate
The
ways.
thingy's
That
coming
could
up
be
though.
part. What?
The tag team tournament. What's it called? Andre the Giant. Well, no, not that. What's it called?
The Dusty Rhodes Classic.
Yeah.
They might not do it this year.
No,
They have been keeping a lot of tag teams strong though.
Maybe they might tag together in that. Just a thought.
Just a thought. I don't think, unless you've got another one, last thought on that, is I don't think the Velveteen Dream at the beginning of his run was full heel. I don't think he's full heel now.
Nah, he's well and truly over with the fans, so I don't think
It's
you
one
can
of those
actually
ones
have
where,
him.
yeah.
You can't have him as a heel because they're just going to shout for him anyway.
But I think he can go in and do things like Nick Alistair Black's ring jacket and like things like that, and the fans are not gonna boo him. It's gonna be like
funny.
It's almost like Eddie Guerrero, like cheating and stealing, isn't it? It's that kind of gimmick.
Yep. Is that your last thought on that one?
Yeah, I just love him.
Because for the next one, we've got new women's / sandwich champion. That's all I've got.
It's not even funny. You didn't watch it?
Nah, I watched some of it. I honestly thought Peyton Royce should have won that.
Oh, 100%. I was so disappointed that she didn't.
I think that might be our last chance as well. I think they might push them up in the main roster. But
When that because they've just called 6 women up.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
So on Raw they've called Sonya Deville, Mandy Rose, and
do you think that's going to be
5?
Do you think that's
5
because
women.
one of them's
Paige?
Do you not think this might just be something that they're doing to promote maybe the women's
Royal Rumble
or something like that?
But that's the thinking behind it, is that they want to do a women's Royal Rumble. So the ones on SmackDown were Ruby Riott,
One I'd never seen before.
Liv Morgan, and Sarah Logan. Sarah Logan was a Mae Young classic. Liv Morgan you have seen, she's terrible.
Yeah.
And Ruby Riott we know obviously.
Personally, she's a
I was a little bit
friend of the show.
disappointed we didn't get to see Sonya Deville stay in NXT because I think she could.
Do you not think they'll go back? Do you not think it'll just be like...
Nah, I think they're up. Mandy Rose is deliberately being kept off NXT TV because Vince saw her and was like, get her ready. She's had 2 matches on NXT.
It happens though.
But the rumour is Vince saw her. She's like a half bodybuilder, half like babe, and being like, I want her sorted and trained and up. So, have you got anything else to add other than Peyton Royce should have won, which she should have done?
No, sandwich happened.
So I'm absolutely. I think Kairi Sane is absolutely mint. Pirates.
She's a pirate. I know.
Pirate. Oh no, it's awesome.
She's a pirate.
No, she's class in ring. It's this Velveteen Dream like all over again. Just because she's a pirate, like she's class in ring as well.
She's a pirate.
She's a pirate princess actually. She's a natural baby face. Like she's mint at selling. Her insane elbow drop's the best elbow drop I've ever seen.
Are you suggesting I should go and watch this match? And
no, I'm suggesting you watch Kairi Sane match.
have you watched the classic?
I've watched
Mae
2
Young
matches in it.
Thingy majiggy.
I'm gonna finish it eventually.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, like she's awesome. She's got the best elbow drop I've ever seen. She does this thing where she marches across the ring, I love it. She's just a cute little Japanese girl who's going to be an amazing babyface, and she's a pirate. And she comes to the ring with... Right, I had an argument with Amanda, right? What's that pirate steering wheel called? Because I said it's called a pirate steering wheel. She said it's called a helm. It's got a proper name.
Is the helm not a part of the boat?
Yeah. Helm's the front. Or helm's where you steer it
They just shout, "Take the wheel," don't they?
The wheel, yeah. So she's got a pirate wheel.
She's got a wheel?
So she comes to the ring with a pirate wheel.
Does she?
I love her.
She should get a parrot.
Too much.
Nah. Coco Beware had one.
Yeah, where's he? Actually, I'll tell you where he is. So Kamala is in hospital.
He's fighting for his life, isn't
Well,
he?
he's lost one of his legs and he's got like diabetes really badly and stuff. But there was a photo.
Over, innit?
What?
That's his career over. No.
There was a picture of Coco Beware sat by his bedside on.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, isn't it nice when people of that generation stick
Looking
together?
after each other.
Mm-hmm.
Coco Beware was in the Hall of Fame as well. Like,
Was
it
in the
shows
what?
that Coco Beware is in the Hall of Fame.
Is he?
Yeah. So maybe there's hope for No Way Jose yet.
I think they should put Kamala's leg into the Hall of Fame. Too far?
As long as he might die in the next 2 days, and it'll be a really grim joke.
That will be a grim joke.
Actually, it wasn't looking good last time I looked, so...
Really? Last time I seen someone look bad in wrestling, they did actually die.
Yeah.
That
Maybe
was-
you're the angel of death.
Maybe he's... I'm going to stop making jokes about people.
Yeah,
Really. It's
so
not
yeah.
nice. It's horrible. Sorry.
It was quite a short match. It had lots of big spots, so it was just like big spot, big spot, big spot, which meant it made it entertaining. Which was a lot different from Velveteen Dream and Alistair Black, which was more story driven. There was a few nice spots. Nikki Cross just got full on power bombed on the outside, which you don't see people take that bump very often unless they're absolutely mental, which it is.
What will become of Nikki Cross?
I don't know. I think she's a very interesting women's performer, or interesting performer
Yep.
in general.
Yeah. See, I would have preferred her.
As a winner,
Uh-huh.
I would honestly. Ember Moon, who won the match, would have been my last choice.
Uh-huh.
So
I can't really say anything about the pirate one because I don't really
so
know much about her.
Kairi Sane's just debuted, so you need to build to her winning the title. Peyton Royce, it would have been my choice. She's been there the longest. She's a class wrestler. She's like the full package. Ember Moon I think Ember should be booked as the one who always just misses out.
Mm-hmm.
So, and Nikki Cross, I think characters like Nikki Cross don't need a championship because they have the extreme gimmick. But I would have preferred her over Ember Moon. I don't know what it is about Ember Moon. She's great in ring, but there's something that
It would have been good for Nikki Cross to have the belt because they've got the tag team championships at the minute. It would have been good for Sanity
it
to
builds
really...
them up against Undisputed Era a bit more.
Yeah.
So yeah, she hits a double eclipse on Cross and Rice at the same time, which was quite impressive. I still think it's one of the best finishers in wrestling at the minute. Like I've said, would have preferred Rice. Kairi Sane's the future. You had a sandwich.
Pirate.
Just cute little Japanese girl with a pirate gimmick.
She should get a parrot though.
Nah, too much.
She needs a parrot.
So, do you have any more
Eye patch? Maybe she should get an eye patch. No,
I could do
peg,
an eye patch.
peg leg or something like that.
Not peg leg. I can do an eye patch though. So next was Drew McIntyre versus Andrade Cien Almas.
I've got more thoughts about this.
Right, hang on. I'm on actual paper now. Right.
Where your notes got.
Well, I was interrupted by life and didn't finish writing them. I think we might have the next big Hispanic star in Andrade. So, they failed with Sin Cara, they failed with Kalisto to a certain extent.
They turned it around the moment they done that thing like we've talked about in the past, where they've done they started making him get beat all the time with
I want to know whether that was a plan
or whether he was falling out of favour, but then they put her with him.
She's awesome as well.
And then she's going out with Austin Aries as well. Didn't know that.
I didn't know that. It's probably going to be difficult for them.
Probably, but
I didn't know she was a wrestler, but she was
she was pulling Hurricane Ranas out and stuff, and
she's like a massive part of that like act. And I think when they get called up, or in the future, like it needs to be like Andrade and Selena.
It's like a different version of Lana and Rusev, and like if the
but even more successful, because she's like, you can already tell she's like I think she's a better performer than Lana. Like Lana's like beautiful, but I don't think she's
not good in the ring.
She's not, and I don't think she's that talented. Like that Selena, she's very charismatic, and I think they match really well as like a group, as like a gimmick. Yeah, awesome. I liked how she gets right in McIntyre's face, because she knows that McIntyre's an uber baby face, and won't, like she jumps on him to distract him, and like he just catches her and puts her down. He knows that, like she knows that with the baby face she can get away with that. I like that heel tactic.
How's your how are you feeling on the McIntyre run at the minute?
I love McIntyre in ring. I think it's just our generation, like, and it's the Roddy Strong problem, like the whole like, yeah, I'm gonna try hard, and like,
yeah,
just doesn't connect with us.
I just don't like. I'm finding it a bit hard at the minute with McIntyre, because he's a funny size.
Too big to be a babyface.
He's too big, but he's not quite big enough to be a giant. He's like but he's big. Do you know what I mean? I'm finding his size hard work.
There was something on one of the podcasts. It might have been Edge and Christian, where he said like, I've asked loads of people like advice on how to be a massive babyface, because it's so hard to elicit response when I'm 6'7" and like nearly 300 pounds.
I think he needs to be a heel at some point. He's injured now though.
Yeah, well, so I was thinking Andrade wins the match, which was awesome. We'll go through it in more detail, but like I was thinking, was he injured going in and that's why they made the title change, or had the plan to make the title change?
I wondered if plans changed midway when he got injured. I wondered if that was the thing.
Yeah.
Do they have earpieces in, like the referees, or anything like that,
so they can
pass information? Because if he's injured, he must have known he was injured pretty bad.
What did you think of his little kilt?
His little kilt, I thought, he didn't need to wear a kilt. That's just WWE doing the old WWE thing, isn't it? You're Scottish, you're going to wear a kilt.
So he wins. Andrade wins with a slightly botched like draping. You know, his hammerlock DDT. He like draped him on the ropes. It was a little bit botchy, but it was awesome to have him win. I think like his rehabilitation from that, if that was a plan, showing him as a party boy, going out, losing all his matches, not having any focus, bringing her in, building them up as a group, as a couple, and like having them go over, and then get the title. Like that's
genius.
Some of the best booking I've ever seen.
I think the NXT writers are really good,
and not just Triple H.
Possibly
being good at knowing what
but
works.
Then we've talked about it before. You look at the main roster and some of the stuff that's happening there, and it's pretty bad.
Like I remember in this like our podcast, so episode 6 or 7, we're talking about Andrade and being like, where's this
dude going? Remember when he came in with a hat?
Yeah.
And we used to hate him.
Like at first we hated him. We're always like, oh, he's a good wrestler, but like, but like,
he's come a long way.
It shows you how important NXT is from this guy who like,
you know, he used to be like a masked luchador.
Yeah.
Before he was
and that's
NXT.
the thing, he took his mask off, and it took him a long time to connect, and they couldn't figure out why, and that's what he needed. He needed this. Yeah. Like he needed this partnership.
Yeah, I think you're right though. When he goes up the main roster, she has to go with him because he doesn't speak very good English neither. Her cutting the promos for him really works because it's the talking that's going to let him down. Look at Nakamura, having someone there to do the talking for him. Look at what they're doing with the Shield at the minute. Seth and Dean do the talk, and Roman just stands back and he just has to look good. You know what I mean? Like, you know,
it always should have been.
And it's if you're not good on the mic, you're not good on the mic. I sometimes watch AJ Styles, and I don't think he's the greatest on the mic. But he's got better.
He's the best wrestler in the world.
He's the best wrestler in the world, but he's not the best
talker.
Cutting a promo. It's
and that's what, and like best wrestler in the world's objective, because it depends what you think's important. Kevin Owens is like a million times better talker than AJ Styles. So is he the best wrestler in the world? Kenny Omega's quite a good talker actually. He's
two languages.
I would say Kenny Omega is a better talker than AJ Styles in English.
Did I mention he's fighting Chris Jericho at Wrestle Kingdom?
Exciting. We're gonna have to still do a thing.
I'm gonna have to talk about that.
So I enjoyed this match. I thought it was a good like juxtaposition. You've got Drew McIntyre chucking him around. You've got Andrade's little like high flying style.
He's
mixed
in
with like a little bit
massive moonsault off the top of the turnbuckle.
A little bit. Oh yeah, but like off the corner of the turnbuckle.
It almost happened in slow motion. Did you see how high he went?
I think it's the first time we've been able to see Andrade's full like arsenal as well, because he's not been in. So like he wrestled Gargano on the last takeover, but on the first match you can't really.
You forget that he won stuff like that as well because of her as well. Like
he beat him twice.
It's been a really slow build up to the top, and he's like, it's gone a little bit unnoticed, hasn't it?
He beat
and then
Roddy, who whether we like it or not, he's one of NXT's top guys.
Somehow. But it has been a slow build to the top, and it's been great. I actually said it because I watched it with Jake, who you might remember from earlier podcasts.
He might have retired from podcasting.
I think you might have. And I said to him at one point, I said, he's going to win this. He's going to actually win this because I try not to find out the results of NXT.
That's what wrestling should always be about. Like, so Drew's been built as a massive like killer for months. Like, they were so good in that match that at that point you thought Andrade can win this.
Do you ever wonder like what's next for Drew?
Well, after he's
injured.
Like obviously it's bad that he's injured. But like it's almost easier for their booking because when he comes back, he just comes back to regain from whoever's got the belt. You could even put in a bigger match. So Andrade hopefully has a 6 months decent reign, drops the belt to Alistair Black or who else is like Roddy or whoever, not Roddy.
Surely when McIntyre comes back, it's got to be Adam Cole with the belt.
Or could be dropping it Adam. Yeah, it could be Adam Cole. But I don't see. I see
Adam Cole and Black. I'll have to go on to fight a babyface, and then Cole's gonna have to be the one.
Actually, my order would be he drops the belt to Adam Cole. Adam Cole has a decent reign for a little while, and then Adam Cole drops the belt to Alistair Black, and then you have a babyface match with Black and McIntyre. But then Black and Cole would be good. I know it's interesting.
There's loads of top guys at the minute at NXT. You think, because obviously when you lost Joe and you lost Balor, and you think to yourself, where's the next top guys going to come from? And there's loads. They just make them. They just churn them out, don't they?
Take them from the indies.
I
like the NXT fans must hate baby faces because I thought in this match again, CM got bigger chance than McIntyre.
I think it's just because, like,
but
I think it's respect for him, the way he's being built up slowly over time, and
it's just finding the right, like, act.
Is it important anymore, babyface, in this time that we're living in?
No, because like I see him bringing her in and her doing all these heel tactics and like putting herself over and being great. It's like I think that's good. Like that's what he should be doing.
And plus, during Attitude Era, the heels were faces.
Yeah.
And that's probably where this has all stemmed from. We were programmed to think that the people doing bad things, like Stone Cold Steve Austin, were...
But do you think that's why we love pure heels? Because they're so few and far between?
Like, the heels, like the faces that we're getting now, like the Roderick Strongs and stuff, they all shucks where, God darn it, drink your milk and stuff like that and love your family and stuff. It's just become a little bit dated and cheesy since the Attitude Era.
Maybe that's the backlash to
and
that.
I think they've probably ruined it. Even the likes of John Cena, who's standing like doing his best, be good guy and everything like that. It's not really, it doesn't wash with anyone anymore, does it, really?
No.
Anyway, so you got any more thoughts on McIntyre and
No, I liked them. I thought it was a great match. I thought for like a main event NXT Championship match, it was fast paced. Normally they're like a little bit slower. Really enjoyed it. Another great match.
It was still my least favourite match of the night.
And that's saying something because it was class.
Mhm.
Well, women's match for you, probably.
Well, yeah, but I don't count them because I don't.
You don't
watch them.
count them. Wow. I don't count them.
I don't count the sandwiches.
Right, so then that takes us on to
War Games.
War Games. What did you think?
Cool. I didn't like. I thought they were gonna have like a roof on the cell. I thought that was a bit like.
So historically, there's always been a roof on the cell.
Mhm.
And a lot of fans on the internet were like, "I'm expecting to see the roof on the cell." I think it's a good idea that it didn't have a roof on the cell. Because
I knew they were gonna put their own stamp on it.
But the reason is that two people have broken their necks in War Games matches.
Have they?
Because one of
Who?
them was Brian Pillman. Because Sid got him up for a powerbomb and there wasn't enough room, so he ended
Because
up.
they were really low then, though.
So he
the
ended
cells.
up dropping him on his neck.
Uh-huh.
So it's probably a
Health and
a
safety
physical
reason.
reason why. So a lot of you smarks on the internet, just use your noggin a little bit and like know your history. Did I sound really pompous there?
You did. You started.
But you know what annoys us? People like on the internet profess to know so
People
much.
on the internet complain about
They
everything.
profess to know so much, but there's like they don't.
They complain about everything. People just like to complain. That's what people like. I thought it was a really good match. The best bit of the match for me was when Killian Dane came in and he started just throwing in loads of weapons and stuff like that.
So that's a new slant on War Games. Is there weren't like weapons matches in the past.
No, but you knew this was gonna be like where that was gonna end up because
Two things he did that I loved. He did the coast to coast. He's like
that was
350 pounds.
unreal. That like
And he ate the key.
that was funny as well.
Big guy's got to eat.
Because he should have just went around eating Roderick Strong and
So
that would have been better.
he's so striking as a
think-
character. Like my wife was like, "Who's that?"
He's a
and I was
Viking.
like, "Oh, that's Killian Dane." He's like, "I've never seen
He's
anyone."
got
who look-"
Viking stock. He's gonna be out of all of Sanity. I think he's the one that's gonna like.
Again with like Velveteen Dream and Andrade. It's the first time I think we've seen on television what he can do. They've always kept it in like reserve, but like coast to coast for a guy that big is like insane. What did you think of Roddy's little Authors of Pain trick or treat outfit?
Yeah, it was a bit like, remember when Kurt Angle
We've got a Leo interruption again.
I'm just ignoring it. Remember when Kurt Angle came to the ring dressed as the Shield?
Yeah.
It was a little bit like when so
We've got a knock on the door. I'm just going to pause for two reasons. I'm going to have a chat with Leo, but I also need a wee.
right, so Roderick Strong coming dressed as Authors of Pain, it reminded us kind of like, so when the Shield done it and Kurt Angle was there, it was like your embarrassing dad coming to the party and dressing like you. This was like Roddy trying to fit in with the cool kids at school.
Your little brother.
So I'm gonna dress like these guys. He's such a nerd.
Do you think it was cool, or do you think it shouldn't have happened?
Nah, it shouldn't have happened. I didn't really understand why Roddy was in this match.
Because there's two factions and the Authors of Pain aren't a faction.
I know, but like surely they could have found someone who, I don't know.
Paul Ellering could have come out.
Paul Ellering could have come. He's done War Games before, hasn't he?
He was always he was outside with the Road Warriors.
Yeah. I don't know. He's just a bit of a funny one to throw in the mix with that one. I know they did the whole build up where he wouldn't join the Undisputed Era, and I actually thought at one point he was going to turn heel and stitch Authors of Pain up.
It was the most interesting thing he'd ever done. In his life.
And I think it would have been good for him to maybe join that faction to make him a bit more interesting. But then how could he run around every week saying how much he loves his family?
If he had fantasy booking, yeah, he would have. We would have no more.
Where's he going to
Roderick
go?
and
He's
Tom
into that one main roster, right? What you going? How do you solve a problem like Roddy?
205
205 live. It's got to be, hasn't it?
They've been running vignettes for Hideo.
205. It's a good place to put him as well.
What was I saying? Roddy Strong.
War Games.
Yeah. So fantasy booking. If he had joined the Undisputed Era, that means 4 members of the Undisputed Era. You could have then had a traditional War Games match 4-on-4. I like the way they did it, and I was actually watching War Games with my wife. and she said, "Why don't they just release them one at a time?" And that would have been better.
Yeah, it would have been. I thought
that's
how they were going to do it.
'Cause that's how they did original
War
Games.
I thought that's how they were going to do it, but then it's like I was saying to Jake, they're just going to put their own stamp on it because it's originally a WCW.
It wasn't too far. The whole spectacle was there, guys brawling in it too.
But I think it needed them to put their own stamp on it.
I like the shark cages.
Yeah.
They just had them hanging around outside the ring in the NWA days, so the shark cages were nice. And they're trying to sell shark cage toys.
Yeah, loads. Like there's been loads of shark cage matches this year. So we've had Jericho in a shark cage, we've had Enzo in a shark cage, we've had Ellering in a shark cage, and now we've had these guys in a shark. Was there any ever any need to have a shark cage where there's no sharks?
No. And they've actually called them shark cages.
They're not shark cages, they're people cages. I can't we're going too far.
So the whole idea of releasing them one at a time is so the heels always have an advantage.
Yeah. But
you ended up at one point with Eric Young in the ring by himself against the Undisputed Era and Authors of Pain and Roderick Strong, and then Eric Young by himself, which didn't work because Sanity were the faces.
There was too many faces in this match, wasn't there?
Because AOP tweeners, they're not faces. So Roderick's definitely a face.
Yeah.
But like Sanity have been made faces. I don't know. It was weird. I didn't like it. Could you have had Sanity in the Authors of Pain versus? Well, that's 5 people. You could have had Sanity and Roderick Strong versus. No, because we're going to put Roderick Strong in the Undisputed Era. This is the problem they probably had. How do you book it?
We're overthinking it.
Yeah.
It happened, and it was quite good.
Yeah. I loved it. Yeah.
There was everything. So there was spots. There was.
Did you see?
Cole got across as the sort of Shawn Michaels, like heel, cocky, cowardly.
It's all been like outthinking everyone, hasn't it?
It is like sneaky sort of like heel that at times you thought would even stitch his own teammates up and like leave.
But he just sends them two in just to like throw like MMA people all over and like makes him look like proper.
One of the best bits was where he was the only one left, and they'd done the power bombs off the top ropes.
The double Tower of Doom spot.
Yeah, and like Adam Cole was left in the middle untouched. I thought that was funny.
I like when it made us laugh when he was like scootling along the top of the scale like a caterpillar.
And then he went off the top of that, and then there was blood, which I'm sure you got really excited about.
I did. So Alexander Wolf, it was actually hardware. He cut his head on the back of the table. It wasn't like a blade job.
No. And at the end of the match, he actually looked like he was lying, and the blood was like pouring out of his head.
Out of the olden days.
Full on real blood.
It was great. I would like it to become a yearly thing.
Do you think they will?
So you can build it up.
It was
brutal. You can build it up every year to get that point. Maybe next year they can do a 4-on-4 and a 5-on-5.
Nubbies.
Another thing I enjoyed was O'Reilly did the old swing the chair, bounce it off the rope, and hit it in your face.
I'm going to talk about funny moments. You've talked about both my funny moments that I was going to talk
about. Was that your other funny moment?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Do you think that was meant to happen?
It's an old spot. It's like, I think that was meant to happen.
I watched it about 10 times. It was great.
I'm trying to think of anything that I've not said. So yeah, Undisputed Era 1, where the chair assisted shine. So Adam Cole hit a chair assisted Shining Wizard on Eric Young. Exciting and crazy match. As I've said, should become a yearly thing. You know how they have like Brooklyn? Like they have Brooklyn every year. They can have like War Games every year. Yeah. And then it doesn't need to go on WWE. It doesn't need to be spoiled.
Spoiled by Vince.
I think because you've started with this weird 3-on-3, next year you can have more traditional 4-on-4 and 5-on-5. You could add you could put the top on the cage. You could like this thing. You can change it up every year. Loved it. Love it. Not a bad match, and I watched all of the matches.
Yep. Apart from, cool. Got any more thoughts apart from?
I have. So 2 random thoughts. I'll keep it short. If people haven't checked out Dalton Castle, in Ring of Honor. They should do.
He's a cool.
I've been watching a few of his matches.
Very flamboyant.
He's like a flamboyant kind of. He's like a human peacock.
Yeah, I was
and he has boys.
He does. He has his boys.
So he was on.
He was rumoured to come to.
He's got to be a signee eventually. He's like a ready-made gimmick. So he was on with Cole Cabana on The Art of Wrestling, and that's why I watched a few of his matches and kind of got a bit more.
He's quite an intense looking fella, isn't
he? Yeah, that's why I watched a few of his matches and got like kind of more into him. That sounded really.
Do you want to be one of his boys?
I do. I want to be a boy. So when he first debuted on Ring of Honor, he had girls. So it was like the same thing, the peacock.
Yeah.
And he had like showgirls come down, and he was like, when he got backstage, he was like, yeah, it was good, but I think they need to be boys though. So yeah, I love I love a gimmick, and he's really good in the ring. He's one of the best. He's one of the best microphone guys at the minute, and he's next match is Cody Rhodes for the title. So
is it? That'll be good.
And another random thought I had was, how good was the coach? Do you remember the coach?
Jonathan
Coachman.
Yeah, he went on. He's on ESPN now.
Like a real broadcaster.
Like a proper full-on broadcaster. Yeah.
So many funny moments, like so good. I was listening to ANC talk to Shane Helms. It's an older one that I had back up. And they were like, they used to ride with the coach, and it made us think, the coach, I haven't thought about him for years, and like loads of like memories.
Do you remember some of the best promos with The Rock?
Yeah,
he used to do
putting stuff on his head and that.
I think one of the coach's first interviews was with The Rock, and I remember him saying like The Rock just came up to him and like, "Hey kid," sort of thing, and then he asked him a few questions about him, and then he basically just carried the whole interview for him and made the coach look really good, and then after that it just sort of like went on from there.
The best coach was heel coach, when he used to come with the sunglasses and the like flat cap.
He was like GM or something at one point, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was so good. He used to always like being when he was heel, he'd be in like a feud with like a top guy, and then he would like always manage to like duck him, and then he would be putting the match with Batista or Stone Cold or something, and like he was just like, I think he was an underrated talent who I'd like to see back one day, but I don't think we will.
Be nice to see him come back and do the odd commentary now and again.
I preferred him as a character.
Yeah, really but did. I mean, if you kind of get him to do it, like, you're not going to get him back full time from his career in serious broadcasting, so maybe it's just.
But I'd like him to come back as like the heel coach, just for like a few.
Does he not do? He does do a
wrestling show. Like
wrestling show,
but he does like American football and that. But anyway, the coach was mint. They were my last two wrestle thoughts.
I've got a funny moments thought, but like you've ruined both of them.
Tell me why you thought they were. So both of them were funny.
The best bit, like, of possibly the whole weekend was Triple H walking into a wall. That was hilarious. It was
perfect.
And I like, because he full on went into it, didn't he? Like
and like the fan footage I've seen, he tries to like he actually looks like he hurts himself when he does it.
So he was stumbling back up because obviously he's been decked by Braun, and then
so he had to keep selling.
He had to keep selling, and then like
but
he just turned around. But he must have been walking with some sort of like force to actually knock himself over, and then just got back up and stumbled back out.
I wonder how.
It's kind of like kind of like, you know, when you like fall over and you get up and look around to see if anyone looked. Say, well, yeah, all of them seen.
Those thousands of people.
Yeah.
If you put like him in our shoes, right? Imagine we were doing something like, and you did that, and Vicky was there. Like, how Steph didn't like burst out laughing.
I don't know. It was absolutely hilarious though. What did you think of his new T-shirt?
I liked it. He always seems to have mad Latin on them.
I know. I don't know what any of it means. My other funny moment was when O'Reilly hit the rope with a chair and then it hit him. And I couldn't work out whether it was real or not, but obviously
that's a spot. But it was funny. It made me chuckle.
I've got a new episode of Backstage Heat.
Oh, I haven't had that for a while.
Hot, ooh, we got it. Hot, ooh, we got it.
I forgot the theme tune.
It's Kevin Owens. It's Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn.
That was a weird one.
They got sent home from a European tour.
So I don't know much about this. So they went into business for themselves with the Usos or something?
Apparently. But I don't know what happened. I don't know.
So you don't know anything about it?
I don't, like, they've been sent home from a... Even if they went into business for themselves on SmackDown,
They're back in the good books now though, because they were quite instrumental in the Survivor Series match, weren't they?
Yeah. Sami Zayn's a good heel. I like it.
He was always a little bit annoying, so
yeah,
it was an easy.
He was getting more and more annoying as time went on as well. So, yeah, I don't know.
You know,
I've put let's speculate and make up lies. So,
what did the
of what happened?
What do you mean going into? So they must have done something in the ring, going into business for themselves.
So apparently it was something to do with a match with the Usos. I don't know.
So what we're gonna? Should we just make up things that they did backstage?
Possibly. Do you want to do that?
If you want.
There's also a video going around of Kevin Owens and Vince McMahon after WrestleMania. Have you seen that one? Where
he
Vince says he wasn't happy with the match
with Chris Jericho.
Aye. Do you think that was just done for a program though?
I'm not sure. I think Vince is the kind of guy, like obviously following wrestling and kind of knowing how people talk about him and listening to a lot of podcasts and stuff. Like he would be intentionally hard on you, because he's obviously got plans for Kevin Owens, because he did an angle with him. And
I worried when they got sent home, because I thought like they'd spent a lot of time building Kevin Owens, and, with a lot of people leaving and stuff. They were in
the main event in Survivor Series. Like they weren't part of the match, but
part of us was like, is this part of that thing at the minute? You know how they're doing that thing where they're not really like wanting to be on SmackDown.
Yeah. It could be part of the gimmick. Yeah.
So you don't know, do you?
But what could they have done backstage?
Maybe they could have spilled. Maybe they could have spilled hot chocolate on Vince McMahon's tie.
They could have. One of them could have done a massive shit backstage and have flushed it.
That would be bad.
And then the other one was guilty by association.
Yeah, one of them ones that pokes out the top of the water. Like, woohoo.
I don't really like. They're not funny guys. Like, I find it easier to make things up about shit people.
Yeah.
Because they're not shit people. Like, I can make up things about Roderick Strong till the cows come home. But, like...
Yeah. Sammy.
He's got, like, a reputation of being really annoying, but, like, in a kind of childish way. Like, asks loads of questions.
Like pranks and stuff like that.
Up, like, just go... Like, apparently, like, just talks too much.
Aye. Yeah. I can see that. He's a nice guy though. He's doing that nice Sammy for Syria thing, isn't he?
Yeah, that is nice.
Anyway, more Bullet Club wars is my next thing. Apparently,
talking about the Bullet Club.
I love talking about Bullet Club because
this might as well be called the NXT and Bullet Club podcast.
I just think it's funny what's going on at the minute.
So what's going on in Bullet Club?
So NXT had a house show on the same night as Ring of Honor had a show. I don't know where it was.
Like an IP review.
Like a show.
Ring of Honor one.
Anyway, it was the one where they had to get Shawn Michaels in. So I think they might have brought Shawn Michaels in to try and like...
November the 17th, it was Drew McIntyre versus...
Adam Cole. So they've obviously been a little bit concerned about this because they've brought Shawn Michaels in.
Yeah.
And Cody
was it
Rhodes...
in the same town or something?
Yeah, exactly the same town. So apparently Cody Rhodes cut a promo claiming that Ring of Honor sold out and NXT did not. And I've seen pictures of the crowd as well.
I think that's a little bit though, like, I bet did they run in the similar sized arenas?
I bet NXT's was bigger.
I need to know numbers, I need to know...
NXT's has been bigger.
I need to go capacity, so it's not really the same, is it?
It's not really the same, but like...
You know they didn't sell out War Games?
I think that might have been where I've seen the pictures of, there was a few empty seats. But when you think about it, NXT, right, it hasn't got the big fan base that WWE's got anyway, and they're trying to do it in the same size arenas, these takeovers, so I don't think that's a big worry.
Brooklyn sells out though.
It's
where was War Games?
I don't know.
Because some towns are bigger wrestling towns than others.
Where was Survivor Series?
Don't know. I haven't watched it yet.
So I thought that was interesting, but you're probably right. It's down to size of venue.
Cody's
really,
just like
Cody's just trying to stir the pot,
awesome, isn't it?
He's just going to keep stirring it, and I think the Bucks will, and I think it's good. It's good for the business.
It's
good for the business.
They're trying to create what we had with WCW.
Yeah. Which competition?
But it goes back to what you said before. It's not WWE versus a company. It's WWE versus indie wrestling / the Bullet Club.
Yep, it's good.
Which
I
is getting it. Which is becoming.
Apparently, Neville's coming back as well.
Yeah, so they worked out with Nia Jax whatever the problem was.
So
they seem to have done the same with Neville. Apparently, they've promised him
the
what
world.
he wanted.
We'll see, yeah. Balor bumped his
It
neck headline.
makes your don't go Neville
Yeah,
a little bit redundant.
We'll have to like stick it in the Gonzalez Hall of Fame. Balor, what's happening with Finn Balor?
Actually, maybe your poem made him think.
Do you think he's heard it?
Probably not.
He probably got sad.
He would have got sad. So what? Finn Balor, sorry.
Finn Balor, apparently he was going to get his rematch for his Universal Championship, but Vince has gone off that idea, claiming that Finn Balor isn't over enough.
I would agree to a certain.
I would agree.
I don't think
But I think it's down to poor booking because he's had a piss poor feud with Bray Wyatt.
he lost to Kane.
He lost to Kane.
Horrendous.
He lost to Samoa
Didn't he lose
Joe last week.
Yeah, he lost clean to Samoa Joe, didn't he?
I think he's fallen out of favour quite a bit.
Um,
And I don't think the Demon gimmick works on the main roster. I've said it before. I don't think it works.
you think you need to go leather jacket?
Uh-huh.
Like,
I don't.
Balor?
Honestly, this it doesn't work. It doesn't have the same excitement that it used to have on NXT. I just don't. I don't enjoy it as much.
No, me neither.
And I like Finn. I like Balor Club Finn.
Do you feel when he comes out with the smoke, the FB like angular logo, his leather jacket? I feel happier when he does that.
Yeah, like normal Finn.
Like cooler.
Yeah, because he's cool anyway. He's like a cool guy. Again, not the best on the mic, but getting better. You've got to remember he's just came up from NXT.
Forget he was a massive heel in Japan.
I would love to see them just do something with. They could do the club versus the Shield. Just like stick them together for once. Just do it, and like I think like because Gallows and Anderson are done. They've got a cool new T-shirt out though.
They have.
Which is
You don't get a new T-shirt if
not if you're gonna leave.
if they're gonna be rid of.
He was pretty non-existent in Survivor Series from what I've heard as well. So
The fact Survivor, like it wasn't, the focus wasn't on him.
yeah, but apparently they focused a lot on the older guys.
What they do?
The 4 guys, like NXT guys that were in the match, sort of like got eliminated quite
But
early.
it's going to be WrestleMania season after
Survivor
Christmas.
Series matches, right? I don't think they're aging well. I think they're very dated.
Do you know what I don't like? I don't like the brands
Split.
fighting each other. Like, I don't like Raw versus SmackDown ethos. I don't think it's ever booked well enough.
I don't think. You know, my favourite Survivor Series was the one where the Deadly Game on.
Deadly Game 98
Where they didn't have any Survivor Series matches at all.
tournament. You could change it to a tournament.
Would
Why
be
not?
good.
There's always going to be a reason to have a tournament.
Yeah. Bring back King of the Ring. That was cool.
Just have it for number 1 contender.
Aye. Or
But a one night thing.
you could
Like
have Raw on one side, you could have SmackDown on the other side, and whoever won the actual thing gets a
You
shot
could have
at their
Raw and
title.
SmackDown competitors in it.
Uh-huh.
So every match is a Raw versus SmackDown, but not in a way like we're attacking each other on our shows. We're just competing.
But what they could do is they could have Raw on one side of the thingy, SmackDown on the other. They fight each other until they get to the end, and then the main event is a Raw versus SmackDown, and then whoever wins gets a shot at their Bronze Titles Championship.
Yeah,
Would be good?
would be good. I like
pay-per-view.
it. And you could have qualifying matches on telly, so that books your Raws and your SmackDowns.
Mhm.
Like they used to have qualifying matches for King of the Ring.
Surely they can't do it. Like next year will be the 3rd year in a row if they go with the whole SmackDown versus Raw.
Do you know it got so stale that they axed it for a while completely?
What, Survivor
They
Series?
took it off the menu.
It's poo. It shouldn't be one of the big 4, I don't think.
I think they need to do a reboot. Deadly Games. Call it Deadly Games again.
I think that's got to be one of the most popular Survivors.
It's a deadly game.
Yeah, they should do that. I should be booker.
See, I want to watch Deadly Game now.
I've thought about watching it.
It starts with one of the funniest things where, so it was at the beginning. It was like Mankind was who Vince wanted to win. I'll not spoil the end, but so they rattled out Dwayne Gill as his first round competitor, and he was like scared of his own pyro and stuff. Like that.
Yeah, it was Gilbert, wasn't it? That was also when it was Steven Regal, wasn't it?
Yeah.
The Real Man's Man.
Did he wrestle in that
he
Real
was-
Man's Man?
Yeah, it was against Goldust, wasn't it?
I'll have to check that out. I want to watch it. See,
You should watch it. It's good.
I haven't watched it since it was on.
I had it. I remember
I've heard
recording
the
it.
music a lot.
Right, Roman Reigns is over. All is forgiven. The fans are shouting
New
for him
IC
again,
champ as of last night.
and people seem to like it.
Do you think he's talented and respected enough to do the whole invitation gimmick like John Cena did the US Invitational? Do you think he's that good?
I think with the Shield to back him up, I think he is. It got me to thinking, why not just keep them together? Why instead
For
of
6 months?
because people are now already got them splitting up. Instead of having a face of WWE, why don't we have a faction of WWE? The three guys, like, are massively more over in this faction than they are on their own.
Like Shield Dean Ambrose is much better. Like we hated on Dean Ambrose for ages.
Uh-huh.
Shield Dean Ambrose is good. Seth's got more potential as a singles competitor, but I'm enjoying Shield being back together.
I think they could even fight each other at times, but then show their respect at the end of the matches. They could even switch brands at times, but then always come back together. If they do end it, I don't think a good way to end it would be one of them turning on the others again, because if
Just
they
like-
want to bring that back together again,
Split them up in a brand split or something.
yeah, if they want to bring that back together again, you're not gonna trust your mates after they've stitched you up twice, are you? Like
No.
it's like Xavier Woods was saying, they are a real brotherhood. They said that when they cut a promo. Like, they've never split up or anything like that. They've always stayed together. So if it happens twice, there's not really much of a possibility of them getting back together that's believable. You know what I mean?
New Day being beaten a lot recently. They got beaten
I
off
think
the
the end
Usos.
of their split might be coming. I think
They got beat off the Usos at Hell in a Cell, and they got beat off the Shield. I think. I haven't watched it yet, but they got beat, didn't they?
they got beat off the Shield. Yeah, and they did. And I think that their split might be coming soon.
You know what? I'm going to nick this off Fraser. He told us once, Ultimate Tag Team, Xavier Woods, Velveteen Dream.
That is pretty cool.
That would be a cool tag team, that.
Uh-huh.
Big E, singles guy. Kofi, always being dependable, always be a place for him.
Yep.
I think it's about time. I love the New Day and have done since the came.
It's wearing a bit thin now, though. They're not as funny as they used to be, are they?
Match quality is still top notch, though.
Oh, they've had some of the best matches in ages with the Usos.
Apparently this Shield match was good, that's why I'm excited to watch it.
Yeah, it's really good. Like I say, Roman, he's just over at the minute, and I think it's the best thing for him. If they want to push him as that top guy, I think that faction needs to stay together. It's no good splitting them up, like,
No.
at the minute.
The thing about a faction is, though, like, he has to, in Roman Reigns' character is, he has to defend that title by himself. The Shield aren't going to be heels.
The thing is, though, on Raw, I noticed when Dean Ambrose was fighting Sheamus, he wasn't at ringside, Roman. It was Seth, just Seth. So keeping them as a tag team and keeping him as
Was Cesaro there?
Cesaro was there as well.
That makes sense.
So having them still as a tag team and having him sort of like still with them, but like out of the picture
Yeah,
a
that
little
makes
bit,
sense.
works for me. And still every now and again doing the Shield entrance and stuff
There's
like
just
that.
someone to watch your back, isn't it?
Uh-huh.
And then they can have the odd. So Roman does a few title defenses with the IC belt. He grows a lot. The fans get a little bit annoyed at him. You have a Shield entrance, where they all. You have a Shield entrance where they all come in, and then then he gets his love back through that.
Good plan. I've got one last thought. I want to talk a little bit about target wrestlers. Obviously, because Triple H just came back. Have we ever talked about target wrestlers
No.
on the podcast?
What is target wrestling?
Do you remember target wrestlers when we used to go to the gym and we used to have target wrestlers? Can you not remember?
Nah.
Do you not? Mine was Triple H, and you know,
Whose bodies who you want
yeah,
to be?
yeah.
I was mine like Dolph
Yours
or
was
something.
like Dolph Ziggler or something
Yeah,
like that.
I like you want to be like hench.
Yeah.
Whereas I like a
Mm-hmm.
I want like Bruce Lee, like
Yeah. So,
thin but define.
Yeah, so Triple H came back,
Nice.
and I went running.
He's looking good. Like
I need like.
he's not like he's like cut weight as like now, isn't he? He's like
It goes to thinking like that. I just need Triple H to be on telly all the time because it pushes us to go out. You know what? I've been running every day since Sunday.
he's pushing 50 as well.
He looks good. I like his beard at the minute. That's cool as well.
It's like full shiny bald. Now as
yeah.
well.
I'd like to know.
I don't know whether my target wrestler has changed.
I think your target wrestler must have changed.
So I kind of like the Velveteen Dream. Not to keep bringing him up, but he's that kind of like slight but cut. Like Rick Rude. Rick Rude was slight but cut. I think that's that's my wheelhouse.
I'd like to know other people's target wrestlers. I'd like to know like if you could have a body like a wrestler, who that person would be. So like the 10 people that listen to the podcast, if they could just like message us in.
Yeah, please, one of you email
her.
And tell her which wrestler would be your target.
Who's your target wrestler? At the WrestleFriends podcast at yahoo.com, or even simply write it on my wall on Facebook. That would be nice. It's for everyone to see, for the whole world.
I think the both of us are Kevin Owens and Cassies rather than what we want now. The natural disasters, earthquake and typhoon.
That's all I wanted to say about target wrestlers. I thought it was.
I haven't thought about target wrestlers for a while. It's a good thing.
I only started thinking about it because mine came back.
I'm going to have a think about. I'm going to pinpoint who it is.
It's a hard life when your target wrestler's coming at the end of his career and he just comes back every now and again.
Do you know who looks good but isn't cut? Alistair Black.
Alistair Black looks good, but I think it's mainly down to tattoos.
He's not like muscular, but he's not like fat.
But he's got loads of cool tattoos as well.
Yeah. But that's not. Could that be classed in body? Could that target body having tattoos, or is it just the physique?
But you couldn't have a target wrestler of having tattoos if your tattoo is going to be Percy from.
I still want to get that.
Clarence.
Tattoo. I still want to get that tattoo. I will get it.
Do you want to do some wrestle poems?
I do.
Right,
I want to get a Percy tattoo more though. Do you want to do yours first, or shall I do mine?
Mine's just called O.
Oh. Okay.
Did I mention I'm very excited about Kenny Omega, Chris Jericho?
Yeah, a couple of times.
I wrote a poem about it.
Oh, nice.
It's just called O. Kenny O v Jericho. I'm excited for the show. I wonder how it will go. Kenny O v Jericho. It could be fast or maybe slow. Marty Skrull dressed like a crow. Kenny O v Jericho. It might rain or maybe snow. Not in Japan. Oh no. Kenny O v Jericho. It could suck. It could blow. But I really don't think so. Kenny O v Jericho. I might get drunk and marry O. Homer Simpson would say do. Kenny O v Jericho. Santa Claus, ho ho ho. If you're small, then you should grow. Kenny O v Jericho.
That was nice and random.
It was, wasn't it? I lost it a bit at the end, thinking of things to end in O.
It was more like you were thinking about Jericho versus Omega, but then all of the other things you were thinking about at the time just went in the poem. Like Homer Simpson.
They just had to be like.
They have quite high levels of snow in Japan in the winter as well.
I didn't know if it would snow there at all. I didn't know. I don't know much about the weather.
I've not seen pictures
Japan?
of Mount Fuji. The snow on.
On the mountains, I didn't know in like
towns, cities.
In like towns, I've never seen a picture of like.
No, it snows.
Snowy bullet trains and that.
I liked it. It was abstract.
It was weird.
Mine's called.
I had fun writing that one because I was just writing stupid stuff.
It's fun just to write stupid things. Like one of my personal favourite poems of mine was the one about Rusev and the tank, just because it was stupid. So mine is Untitled.
Yeah.
What should I call it? So little time. I'm gonna call it.
Cool.
So little time. I need to finish watching the Mae Young Classic, but I haven't watched Survivor Series yet. The new episode of NXT is coming up. Before I watch that, I need to catch that interview with Ron Simmons by JBL. I'm in the mood for some classic WCW. Although British wrestlers are on 205 Live this week. The network, so much wrestling, so little time.
That was cool.
I have
brought up a few things that I'd actually forgotten about because I still haven't watched that 205 Live with the British guys in, and I forgot all about it. And also something else you spoke about there that I've not watched. I can't remember.
Old WCW? Like old War Games movies?
Nah, can't remember.
I have that problem every week.
Too much content, not enough time.
So little time, so much I want to watch.
And then I spend a lot of time watching YouTube because of Raw and SmackDown highlights. And then obviously...
And then I decide, I listen to like Edge and Christie, and I listen to Cole Cabana, and Dalton Castle was on. I was like, I want to watch some Dalton Castle matches. So I have to go on YouTube or steal them off the internet.
I'd also like to keep up with Ring of Honor because you can watch it on their website like every week, but I don't have time.
So much wrestling, so little time.
Excellent. And that brings us swiftly to the end of this week's installment of the... Oh, God, aye.
Who shall we put in this week?
Coco Beware's Parrot.
Kairi Sane having a parrot. Coco Beware's Parrot. Kamala's illness.
Right. I need to take back what I said before because I've been...
He's probably going to die the next few days.
I've been filled with guilt since I said it, and I really hope...
Don't take it back. Nobody's going to be offended.
I wish the best to him.
To the Ugandan giant.
Yes.
So we'll not put his illness in. Oh, we should put it in, but that's too serious. Coco Beware was like sitting by his bedside, so we can't really put that in either.
We could put his parrot in though.
Because anyone who's got a parrot will not be good.
Yeah.
If
all parrots go into the Hall of Fame.
Well, that's why I don't want Kairi Sane to have a parrot.
Well, why don't you put her with a parrot in?
Kairi Sane with a parrot, but she can't have an eye patch.
But not a parrot. And put a peg leg in there just for good measure.
But not a pirate wheel because I love it.
Yeah, pirate wheel.
Helm.
It's not the helm. It's not the wheel.
We're gonna have to do my wife's question next week. So it's about sexism in wrestling and sexism by me.
I don't think it's got anything to do with me.
It does a bit. I have to get the response right, so I'm gonna wait until next week.
You can't be sexist if you just don't watch it. You're just nothing it.
We're going to talk about it later. This was the WrestleFriends podcast.
Must apologise for my son's entrances.
It's alright, it's real life. We're like hood. We're in the
hood.
We're in the hood.
Don't forget to email in with your target wrestlers.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening. Bye.
Bye. Have a good times.